Ich Misha Gieltenach. Ich Misha Aniha. Ich Misha Batman.
Welcome, sir. Are you well rested?
I was hammered yesterday. I mean, it was incredible. I was the last one out of this building last night. I closed the building. At 7, they had to throw me out.
Well, if you're going to get somebody to close the building, you get Batman to close the building.
There you go.
You know?
Everybody's been wonderful. The Dublin community is just so great.
Because you've been here a while. You dropped in like middle of this week, and you've been doing a little tour around the place.
Yeah, no, I came back a week ago. I came in a week ago. So we've just been hanging around Dublin. Last time I came a week early. Was it 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
It would have been 3 years ago.
The first Comic Con, and rented a car. And as a kid, I spent a lot of time in Ireland growing up. I'm a dual citizen. My grandparents were all from Ireland. So, but I hadn't been here since I was like 17. I hadn't been here in a long time. So I thought, I'll rent a car and I'll drive around the island. And I forgot that the roads in this country are like this wide. And that there are rock walls on either side. And that these lorries come at you at 70 miles an hour. So I lost the side view mirror so many times on this car. Here, boom, the mirror would go. So you kind of drive along and go, oh, just let me go, you know. There was actually a road in Dingle that suddenly went one way. We were driving around this cliff and suddenly it turned into a one-way road. And there was this truck coming at me. So I had to back up, with a cliff on one side and a rock wall on the other. I did it. So this time, we decided just to stay in Dublin and not deal with the driving. Had a great time.
Because you were posting on Twitter, you were in Temple Bar, and then you were in Bray, and somebody there took that picture of you in Bray, and then, super.
Wasn't that great?
Yeah, the bat signal.
They put the bat signal over Bray. It was great.
So the turnout for you this weekend has been mental because you are, for our generation, for my generation, I know we have the actors who portray Batman on screen, but when anyone in my generation thinks of Batman, you're always the person we talk about.
Thank you.
You are the voice of Batman for pretty much a generation. But you've crossed over that now. You started obviously with the animated series, but there's also the games and then the movies have happened as well, and they keep happening. And is there a joy that you're able to keep the character going and be Batman for as long as you've been?
It's such a wonderful character to be associated with because he's such a complicated character, you know? There's so many levels to him. So there's always more to explore, I find. People say, don't you get tired of playing the same character for 25 years? And I honestly don't. He's such a complicated guy. It's such a rich character to explore. That there are always more levels. There's always more stuff to find. Like, whoever thought he would sing, you know? When you have me sing Am I Blue, I thought, this just can't be happening, you know? So there's always stuff to do with the character. The challenge for 25 years has been to keep it fresh. Not to get stale, not to phone it in. Because, you know, with hearing, it's a funny thing about lying. People can, I think about this in life. I think you can hear a lie a lot faster than you can see a lie. Someone can fool you, but you can hear it when they're lying. So people can hear in a heartbeat if I wasn't being genuine with the character, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and Andrea Romano was so wonderful. She really kept on me, always being sure I was being true to the character. So that's been the challenge over 25 years, is to keep it fresh, to not let it get stale. I think my theater background really helped me in that sense, because in the theater, part of the trick is creating the role, but then the second part of the trick is doing it 8 times a week and making each time you do it be the first time, because each night it's the first time for that audience to see you. And so it's got to be immediate, it's got to be fresh, it's got to be alive. That's half the trick of performing on stage. So I think that served me well in doing this role for so long.
And as you mentioned, Andrea, she's now retired, only recently. And as a fan, I've seen her. She has brought people in and out of the Batman universe, but the key characters have always stayed. It's always been, for the majority of times, it's been you and Mark. Back and forth. I know Troy Baker came in for a bit, and I interviewed Troy about it as well. I interviewed Troy Baker a couple of years ago, and he was
very talented guy.
He was telling me, he said he was so scared about it, but you guys were so welcoming,
and rightly so.
But it must be intimidating for other actors to come in and they come and go at different roles throughout it, and they get guest characters playing certain roles. But you and Mark have been there for so long. You're dynamic. Again, when people say Kevin Conroy is Batman, a lot of people say Mark Hamill's the Joker.
Yeah, he is. He's created a character for me. He's just, I wish you could see him when he's in the booth. He becomes the Joker. He literally, his face is like rubber. I was talking about this yesterday. I think Mark was a victim of his own youthful good looks. You know, in the business you get categorized so much, and it's hard to break out of type for actors. And his type when he was young was young leading man, because he was a really good-looking guy. But as his face aged and as he aged, he's still a very handsome man, but he's not that, you know, boyish good looks anymore. So he was able to grow into what I think he really is, which is a character actor. Yeah. He's a character actor, and he can just become these wild characters. And it's so much fun to watch an actor transform that way. And the one other thing about Mark, too, is he's a very generous actor. You know, actors are people. There are generous ones, selfish ones, mean ones, nice ones you want to know, and ones you really don't want to know. You know, they're people. And Mark is just one of those generous, kind people who loves it when you're good because he knows that's going to make him better. You know? I love when he's good because I know I'm going to give a better performance.
It was very heartwarming recently when you guys reunited for The Killing Joke, and there was the picture of you guys hugging that hit the internet. And I think the fandom was it was literally a fist raised in the air from the fandom to see us back together.
Yeah. That was titled The Bromance.
Have you faced challenges with the character over the years, as it's changed, as the media has changed, as the world has changed? Have you had to adapt Batman to that role as what he is?
The biggest transition for me was from the dramatic shows to the games. Gaming is something that's really very recent in the industry. It's so recent that people are still kind of catching up to it in terms of contracts and stuff like that. The studios make more from games now than they do from films. It's huge. Arkham made $1 billion with a B. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So it's a whole new form of working. Because it's so scientific, they need a completely clean take of everything. So for an actor, you know, acting is a very messy business. There's a lot of interaction, there's a lot of emotion. So when Mark and I are in the booth together, or when the other actors and I are in the booth together, it's like when you're a kid, you know, and you're playing ball. You can give and take, you can throw the ball, throw it back, and you're all in the booth together, and there's a lot of interaction. And the only thing you have to be aware of is going off mic. You know, you have to stay on mic. So everyone's very aware of the mic. But other than that, you can do anything you want in there, you know? And there's a lot of childishness in actors. And I think the more childishness, the better, because it makes you spontaneous. That childlike quality is what you want. But when you're doing a game, they need a completely clean take for everything. So you have to record alone. So you get none of that energy from the other actors. So you're only feeding yourself. So you're keeping the character alive. You're imagining the situation in your head. You're keeping that alive. And then you're giving them the various readings they want for each line. You know, get in the Batmobile. Oh, could we have it with more anger? Get in the Batmobile. Oh, keep the anger down, a little irony. Get in the Batmobile. Literally! And then that for 4 hours, and then you get an hour break, and then 4 hours in the afternoon. And that's a day. And you do that for a week alone. And by the end of the week, you sort of forget how to speak English. You know, it's like the words aren't coming out anymore. And you're still trying to keep the character alive. You're still trying to keep the energy up. You're still trying to keep it fresh. But you're feeding yourself through the whole thing. And Arkham Knight, the last game, had 37,000 lines of dialogue. It was like doing Tolstoy. I mean, it was massive. And it took 2 years to build. So I was in that booth for 2 years, basically, off and on, alone. So that's not why you go to Juilliard. You know what I mean? When you want to be an actor as a teenager, you're not thinking you're going to end up in a booth being alone, sort of goofing around by yourself. You know, it's not why you get into the business. But then I go and I see the game and I play it and I look at it and I think I am a part of this. You know, I'm so proud to be a part of it, and I'm so proud of my performance, and it's something I can look at and you know, with pride. So I love doing it, but I don't love the process of doing it. The process is